All right. Hey, good afternoon. It's Pete, FigLife.com. And I got a plate full of figs here today. It's August 22nd. So I tried a bunch of figs earlier this month. I think it was early August, maybe August, I don't know, 5th or 4th or something. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago. So I just thought I'd do an update here, try some of the figs that are ripening for me this time of year. I've got some different ones that I didn't look at before. I think I've done videos of all of these individually, but you know, sometimes there's things to say about these figs that I didn't say before. So this one in my hand right here is called Fico seco, and this is a particularly ripe Fico seco, probably riper than any of the other ones I've had. So be interested to see how this one tastes. Wow, just a lot of sweet syrupiness in that. Really, really good. I mean, almost like a candied, like chewy candy sort of flavor to it. What's that, like a sweet fig with a little bit of figginess to it. That one's so good. Fico seco, I like that one a lot. The next one here is Pastilliere. And Pastilliere, I mentioned it in my video, but the problem with Pastilliere, well, there's a couple problems. First of all, it drops a lot of figs. It takes a couple years to get going before it'll stop dropping the figs. And then once it stops dropping the figs, it's still, God, I got some chewy Fico seco skin in my mouth here. Once it stops dropping the figs, it still has some issues with, it's not the most rain resistant or the most bug resistant. The eye is a little bit open and it tends to crack a little bit. The skin especially tends to crack. But it is a really good fig. I mean, I keep it around because it is so good. It's kind of interesting. The skin is actually kind of hard. It's sort of almost like a shell. It's so hard. And then the inside is just really juicy. So it's kind of a unique fig in that respect. But if you can keep the bugs away, it's a really good fig. I mean, super juicy, like I mentioned. Probably, that's one of the unique things about it, is it's just a really juicy fig. And the flavor is somewhat unique too. It's kind of like it's sweet, but it's kind of got this, it does have a flavor to it. It's not just sweetness, but the flavor is hard to put my finger on. I can't quite compare it to anything. But really good fig for sure. So this next one here, this is Algerian Chateau. This is one that I did a couple videos on earlier in the year, and really impressed with the flavor of Algerian Chateau. And it's continued to produce a lot of figs. The figs are ripening well. I'm not losing a lot of them to pests or spoilage or anything like that. Of course, I put organza bags on all of them, but still, this is a fig that I'm pretty sure now at this point that this is going to be one of my top fig varieties of the season, Algerian Chateau. Yeah, just really sweet. I mean, it is a lot like Smith. In terms of the flavor. You know, if there's families of figs, then this is probably, you know, in the Smith family of figs. Really good. So, you know, if there is a Smith family, I want to know what varieties are in that family, you know, because Smith being one of maybe the best fig out there for the East Coast. Yeah, that's such a good fig for sure. All right, the next one here is Verdalino, and I don't know quite what to expect from this. Verdalino, you know, you can see how small it is. I mean, it's a tiny little fig, and it's got kind of a unique shape to it. You don't see a lot of, especially small figs with a shape like that. And I've had a couple of these now. I've ripened many of these at this point, maybe like 10 or so. And I've had a couple of these that were actually really good. Most of these, the flavor is just a little bit light. It's not fully developed. It's not a real rich flavor. But I had a couple of these that were really good. They were sweet, and they had a berry, almost like watermelon type taste to it that was really good. So let me try this one here. I'm not sure if this will be good or if it's actually a little bit spoiled or what, but let me try this. All right, that one was okay. There was just a little bit of sweetness to it. It wasn't spoiled, but not a ton of flavor on that one. And people have said that this fig variety takes a couple years to really develop its flavor, and that's true for a lot of varieties. Although I will say there are a few that right out of the gate, they're tasting really good. And Algerian Chateau, for example, was one of those. Yeah, so Verdalino is one that, one thing about Verdalino is it's supposed to be really early. So that's going to benefit a lot of growers that have the short seasons. So I think that fig does have a lot of promise. It may take a couple seasons to really get that good flavor, which is not too uncommon with figs, All right, this one here, I think this is MDVS. Yeah, and I think this is, actually, you know what? No, this is Macedonia Dark. That's what this one here is. That was good. That one was really good. Good hearty Chicago type flavor. Macedonia Dark, really good. Let's see what I got next here. All right, this is Smith. I had a couple Smith figs ripen for me. They're continuing to ripen. Smith, of course, everyone knows about Smith, I think, right? Smith is probably one of the best figs around. Just great flavor, ripens a lot of figs for me, and I don't have a lot of issue with the spoilage either. Yeah, great flavor. Sometimes Smith is a little sweeter than this one. This one is not super sweet. It's a good flavor, but not quite as sweet as some of the other ones that I have had. Yeah, so that's good. All right. So this is another Smith fig here. And that one was riper. It had just a little bit of that nutty flavor to it that the figs that are really ripe get, and excuse me, and more sweetness than I got from that other Smith. So really good. Another really good fig, Smith fig. This is LSU Purple. So LSU Purple is one that this is my third year with LSU Purple, and year one and year two, I would eat these figs, and they really just didn't taste good. I mean, they didn't taste like much at all. Maybe they had a little bit of sweetness, but not much else. But this year, for the first time, in its third year, this fig is really, I can say, in complete honesty now, that this fig is tasting really good. It's a sweet fig, sugar fig, but it's got some additional flavors in there that give it some complexity. And the only reason I hung on to this was because people said, hey, if you grow this for a few years, it really starts to develop a good flavor. And I can see that now in its third year. So let me try this fig. This is LSU Purple. Well, so most of the LSU Purple figs I've tasted have been really good. That one, there just wasn't a lot of flavor to that one. It didn't taste bad, there just wasn't a lot of flavor to it. Okay, so these next ones are Bourjassotte Grise. I've got several of them. And this is such a good fig. It's just it's juicy, it's sweet, it's got a berry flavor. It's kind of all a nice balance of all three of those things. Let me try one of these other ones. Yeah, it's really good. That one wasn't quite as sweet. So let me go back to this one because you know, this is one that not many people hear about. Some growers have said it's similar to Mora de Caneva. I don't know. I don't grow that one, but Fico seco. You know, this is really good. Of all of these figs, now those Smith Algerian Chateau figs, those were really good, but that was a sweet berry sort of flavor, and it's kind of the typical flavor that I get from a really good berry fig. But this is a different sort of flavor. This is like a chewy candied, like sweet, mostly sweetness, but a little bit of figgy flavor in there too, and it's really, really good. Let me go ahead and finish off with this one here. So I started with this one. Let me finish with this one. Wow, that is so good. That is a really, really good fig. If that's what Mora de Caneva tastes like, then I can understand why people like that fig. But that was really good. That was Fico seco. I'm really liking that one, and it's got that. You kind of continue to like. You have the skin in your mouth when you're done, and it's just this real chewy, like chewy candy sort of flavor that it leaves you with in your mouth. So a really good fig there, and a lot of just really good figs. A lot of really good figs here. I should be getting a lot more to ripen here shortly. We're getting real close, I think, to being in the prime time of year for fig growing here in Virginia. I think we're still kind of early, still being August. Most of the figs will ripen probably in September. So it's going to be a busy time. There's going to be a lot of figs and a lot of new varieties that I'm trying here pretty soon. Many of them are, I think, gonna ripen within the next month, so that'll be interesting to try all those new varieties. But some good ones already that I've tried for the first time this year. Fico seco, one of them. Algerian Chateau, another one. So those have been some real winners so far this year, and looking forward to trying hopefully many more new varieties over the coming month. So yeah, that was my my fig tasting update. If you like this video, please hit subscribe and check out my website, www.figlife.com. Thanks.